Alright, Sunday. 2 more days before the Super Adventure Festival ends, so grab those final few bauble bubbles and don't forget about tomorrow's weekly reset either. But let's talk about the markets instead, and maybe add a couple of items I haven't covered before. 2 days ago, I published a video mentioning I'm late with my preparations for the Festival of the Four Winds. Long story short, I want to open thousands of Zephyrite Supply Boxes. But first, let's talk about the usual suspects. Ectos seem to have calmed down and clocked in at 33 silver apiece. Chances are this is a new normal until the next update in 16 days. The update itself might not change anything, but if ArenaNet introduces yet another material sink, we might see some movement once more. Speaking about that update, make sure you finish those final few achievements in the coming 2 weeks. Most of them just require spending some time in the new Inner Neos zone, and I've managed to knock out most of them in a single day. I only need to participate in a few more events and I'll be done. When talking about Ectos, we also need to mention Unidentified Gear. While blue and yellow remain stable, green is on the rise again. 20 copper might not seem like much, but keep in mind that is a 10% price increase. There's been a similar blip in supply, and while demand fell faster, it already mostly recovered. I've spoken at length about processing these with an endless upgrade extractor during my latest live stream, and I'll cut up the footage so I can publish a more succinct video. If you already want to know more, go check out the links in the pinned comment. Charms and symbols have somewhat followed suit, as most of them have been bouncing up and down by 10% or sometimes even more. So once again, make sure you process your gear correctly. And do know that salvaging runes and sigils can be done with any quality salvage kit, so use a copperfed or the free equivalent for those specifically. When it comes to our beloved tier 6 materials, venom sacs, totems and scales have been on the rise, mostly due to a dwindling supply. Nobody seems to want claws for now, which have been going in the opposite direction. As of now, everything except for bones, fangs and claws as well as dust is worth upgrading if you have some spare spirit shards lying around. Never upgrade tier 5 dust into tier 6 by the way, as you can salvage Globs of Ectoplasm with a silver fed or an equivalent kit for about 1.9 dust per salvage attempt. Doing so will also give you tons of essences of luck. It's fine to consume the green ones and above, but never consume the blue ones. Use those to make exotic lantern backpacks instead. They sell rather quickly and they can fetch you upwards of 1 gold of profit each. If you want to craft any of the Generation 3 weapons or the legendary obsidian armor, you also might want to consider hanging onto your exotic essences by the way. And speaking about upgrading, if you have those seemingly useless cores lying around, most can still be upgraded into lone stones for an okay profit as well. Mystic coins have been on somewhat of a crazy ride as well, as they now seem to have clocked in at 2 gold and 10 silver. There are a few ways you can get at least 17 of these per week through PvE, and even more through World v World and PvP tournaments. So even if you have limited time, it might be worth dedicating some to getting as many per week as you can. The PvE ones are relatively quick to obtain, as you can get them in under 15 minutes a day, as they mainly come from the ley line anomaly and Soto strikes. As per usual, more detailed video in the pinned comment. I mentioned the 4 winds at the beginning of the video, and please do check out my previous one for a more detailed explanation. But it's about time we keep track of the materials you can trade in for Zephyrite Supply Boxes. There is a super handy resource on the cost per box on the wiki, and I made a publicly available list on GW2BLTC to make checking the individual material prices easier. If you are a Twitch subscriber or a YouTube channel member, you also have access to a spreadsheet. It's the same data but condensed into a single screen. Even if you're not keen on opening the boxes yourself, which would make sense because they're basically a scam, it's definitely worth it to keep track of these materials, as prices could spike when the festival goes live. This could give you an opportunity to offload some of your material storage at a premium. These supply boxes might also have an impact on the super rare rewards. I'll talk about these in a video in the future, but if you're wanting to buy an infusion, the festival might be one of the best times during the year to do so. Oh, and if they decide to update the boxes and include some of the new skins, such as the Visage of Norris, you might be out of some gold if you're sitting on one of those. If you are the type who likes to open these, just hope you don't get an antique summoning stone as a super rare drop. That would be a recipe for rage quitting. Anyway, I'm out. You can probably catch me later live on Twitch and YouTube, and if you've got a second monitor, I would love to be on it.